Meanwhile, back on the podcast, 4 colossal nerds named Saba, Chris, Christina, and Frank have set out to take on a great darkness that has enveloped the world of fandom. With their powers of common sense and the strength to take on even the most butthurt Twitter mobs and insufferable comment section trolls, they fight for truth, objectivity, and nuance in the conversation and debate over fictional made-up shit.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Meanwhile Back on the Podcast. I'm Frank McGuire.
I'm Christina Dudamos.
I'm Chris Abano.
I'm Saba Amir.
Happy Star Wars Day,
Happy Star
everyone.
Wars Day, guys. Happy Star Wars Day. It is May the 4th. We are recording on Star Wars Day. And what a Star Wars Day it is. There has been some exciting news in the world of Lucasfilm. And we finally got confirmation that the great Taika Waititi is going to direct and write a Star Wars project. He's going to get his own Star Wars film. I personally cannot tell you how fucking excited I am about this.
It's pretty funny because on his Instagram he said, "Guess it wasn't a rumor after all, psych," because there was rumors about this kind of like floating around whether he was or wasn't going to, and he was already involved in The Mandalorian, so he's kind of like already there. And you know, he had a pretty good reception, I think, from the episodes that he was a part of.
Yeah, that's for sure. Such a funny guy in general. Like, I'm really excited to see what flavor he's gonna bring into this project. Do we know? Like, is it just like an undisclosed project?
Yeah, we've got no other information just yet. However, I think we can speculate that because of his time on The Mandalorian, he's had a lot of FaceTime with Dave Filoni. He's definitely spent some FaceTime with George Lucas. So I think he's within the right group of creative influence, right? And I honestly think that he is a good choice to bring into the world of Star Wars. I think he will give us a Star Wars film that really lives up to the legacy. I think we'll really get a film that we'll all be happy with.
And this is something that we've all kind of been saying, is that we love Star Wars and there is that basic formula of Star Wars. But I think what Taika did, which is what he kind of did with Thor Ragnarok, or if you've seen any of his other movies, is that he is good at like staying close. And why I'm really happy he's doing the Akira series is he'll stay close to the source material. You know, he's a fan, but also like, I think he's not afraid to go and explore and like see something new. And I think that's what, you know, some people at least complained about the new Disney trilogy, that it was just like, oh, we've seen these storylines before, like it's a rehashing or whatever else. I think with Taika, you're going to get that newness that you kind of want while still sort of sticking to like the world of Star Wars, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the world building is one of the best things about the Star Wars franchise, and I definitely think we didn't get enough of that. And Taika's so creative. I think he'll be able to pull in some new stories from that.
Yeah, he's a gifted storyteller, and he's also a resourceful storyteller, right? Like, look what he did with What We Do in the Shadows. You know,
such a great movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
it's a fantastic movie, and you know, if you look at it, you can pretty much surmise that the budget wasn't very large to actually make this movie. You know, and he was able to produce a great film, and even there was some special effects shots in that movie that actually played pretty well.
There were some special effects shots in that movie that were ridiculous as well, but they didn't even really have like a full script for that movie either, which is great.
Right.
I'm excited to see.
I love the richness of the characters anyway. That was great. Those characters were awesome.
I'm pretty excited to see how like he will insert himself into this movie, because I don't know if you've seen his other movies. So like Jojo Rabbit, he plays Hitler. He plays imaginary Hitler, sorry. Because it's this little boy, it's imaginary friend. And then also like he was Korg in Thor Ragnarok. So
yep,
I'm sure like,
and he was the voice of
honestly,
IG-11. Yeah.
Sure he'll stick himself in there somehow.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what happens with this. Like, you know, I really like Taika Waititi. I not only like him as a creative person or like as a creator, I like him as a person too. Like his way of just looking at the world, the way that he just kind of goes tongue in cheek with everything. Everything is kind of a joke. He's always looking for that moment to kind of just, you know, have a little levity. You know, he tries to create levity wherever he goes. And I think that's a good way to go through life. So I'm really excited that
and
he's
it's like
tied
a
to the
smart
project.
humor.
Yeah, he's a smart, his
Yeah.
humor is
Yeah.
smart for sure. For sure.
There's only one thing left I have to say about Taika, which is funny. I was watching his Instagram live when he was doing like the Thor Ragnarok screening, which turned into a huge mess with him and Mark Ruffalo. But I enjoyed it. At one point, he leaves his house to get like some fresh fruit or something from outside because he wanted to use in what he was making. And he's leaving, and his daughter is at the door and is like, "Dad, where are you going?" And he's like, "I'm leaving, and I'm never coming back." And she just like goes inside. Like she's probably so used to him saying that. It was like the best part of the Instagram live because his daughter like just who was like looked like she was probably like 5, like did not even care and was like, "Okay," just like turned around. So that's probably like the best thing I've seen of his for me at least.
You know, I think the other great thing that Taika is going to do a great job of is dealing with the fan base. You know, he's a troll. He trolls fans all the fucking time. He trolled fans with Thor Ragnarok. He trolled fans during his Instagram, his last watch party, where he basically like made up a fake script to let people think that Iron Man was going to be in Thor 4, which was hilarious.
But that script was so bad. It was like it's like, "Tony, you're back," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm back." Like Thanos is whatever. Like, and he's like, it was just this awfully written script that he accidentally kept
That's
showing.
really funny. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but like he is a good guy to deal with fans. And, you know, Star Wars fans are they're very temperamental people. It's very challenging to deal with the Star Wars fan base. It's not easy, you know. During that Mandalorian documentary, you know, they were interviewing the directors, you know, as they were doing their individual little vignettes on them. And Bryce Dallas Howard was saying that how important the content is. And not to her as a Star Wars fan, but to all of us. Like, she recognizes how important the Star Wars franchise is and the Star Wars legacy and the mythology and the legend of it, you know? And fans can be pretty fucking finicky about that shit. So.
It's gonna be really interesting with him because of exactly what you said. Like, this matters to a lot of people, and Taika Waititi is at his best when you give him like carte blanche, right? Like the confidence that he brings to a project. It's like they'll give him as much freedom as they can, and then he always hits the mark. And it's like, this is the first time really that, like, I mean, this is not Thor, right? This is Star Wars. Like, you need to follow this alleyway that the fans have like corralled you into. So it's like, it's going to be really interesting because not only can he handle fans really well, you can't just give him a project and be like, you have to stay within these bounds, because that's not what he does. What he does is like break boundaries, and he'll change Thor into like this new generation Thor, and everyone loves him for it. So it's going to be an interesting one for sure.
I actually was thinking, because it is like Star Wars Day. We've been talking a lot, at least in the podcast, of the last 3 sort of Disney movies, right, that we've had. And we've talked a bit about the trilogy that came out, the prequels. But from like the early days or all together, what's like, and I guess this might be like hard to ask because there's so many scenes, but are there like scenes that you guys find like super memorable, or things that like always stick with you? Like for me, one scene that always like gave me anxiety and then also made me laugh was A New Hope, when they were like in the trash compactor and like they thought they were gonna die, and then at the end they're all like laughing, and C-3PO's like, "Oh my goodness, they're dying," but they're actually just so happy to like get out. And to me, that scene will always be so good. And it's like weird because it feels not Star Wars, but it is Star
I do
Wars.
like that scene
you know
too,
what I
and
mean?
it's also the first time that crew of characters kind of like come together and they save Leia, so they like accomplish something when they did it. Too, so,
I love the trash
I like
compactor.
that scene too.
That entire escape sequence, like that was the most remarkably Star Wars feeling sequence. Like the whole swinging across the bridge, I love that whole thing. It was the best.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's like
with his sister.
Yeah, that scene, that swinging scene particularly, it's so iconic to like classic black and white cinema too. You know, like if you call back to like Robin Hood or like any sort of swashbuckling movie, like that is such an iconic thing to do, is like the hero with the girl, you know, holding on to him, swinging across a chasm or whatever, right? Like it's such an iconic thing to do. And it was, you can definitely tell that where George Lucas's influences come from, you know, watching those Saturday, you know, serials when he was a kid, and, you know, these adventure stories and these adventure capers, you know, like he was a big Flash Gordon fan, and obviously, you know, Errol Flynn kind of stuff too. So yeah.
You know what I've always loved? Like, not that remember. Let's talk about like A New Hope first for a minute here. You know what I've like just
Sure.
not just realized. Like I've always loved this is that like Princess Leia's character from the first like few scenes you see her it's this like damsel in distress character. But then as soon as she gets like rescued, like as soon as she gets her own lines, it's always like snide and like full of attitude. And I love that. That whole like when they were walking, I'll never forget when they were walking, they're just like trying to rescue her, and then she's like, get this walking carpet out of my way. It's like, okay, I thought you were this helpless girl. And then, like afterwards you see all of her attitude and all of her thing. And that's why I really started to like Leia's character. She wasn't just like this woman that needed rescuing. And then I love that they continued that throughout the entire series, and she just got cooler and cooler.
Yeah, it definitely paid off too, because it wasn't just like she was like that. Like she had, like she took a gun, she was taking shots, and then, you know, later on, like becoming part of the resistance and everything else, and like playing that role. I always thought it was funny too when she like got rescued and was like, they sent you guys.
Aren't you
like,
a little
in,
short
like,
for a
this,
stormtrooper?
like she wasn't even like that grateful at
I
first.
think one of my favorite Leia
Which I
scenes
felt.
is actually when they take her to watch Alderaan blow up.
Oh
And like, oh, that scene is so intense. And you get that whole damsel in distress thing, but you also see like all the political training and everything. And you know, she's being snide and joking around. And she doesn't think like that's even possible. Like that doesn't even cross her mind that that's what's going to happen. And then as the scene plays out, that is what happens. And she tries to give up the rebel base. She does.
No, she lies. That's what I loved about that scene. She's just like full on lies. Like,
okay, yeah.
I love that.
But anyway, I just love that like interrogation process and that whole thing. And then she watches like Alderaan get destroyed. Like that's crazy. So that scene was like one of the most crazy scenes for me.
Impromptu trivia question: What system did she say that the base was on?
Dantooine.
I thought she did say
Dantooine.
Tatooine, right?
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Oh,
Wait, no, not Tatooine. No.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Close.
Is it I said Dantooine.
You said Dantooine. Okay. Yes,
Damn
Dantooine.
right.
It's Dantooine.
Oh,
didn't
okay.
say
That's why I got
Tatooine.
confused.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
damn, George Lucas.
Yeah.
Like, how to be original.
Dantooine.
I
yeah,
never caught
Dantooine.
that.
This is my favorite. This is my favorite behind the scenes kind of stuff. And you guys might know this. Carrie Fisher wrote this in one of her books, Wishful Drinking, that she wasn't like, she couldn't wear a bra. And George Lucas said that because like it would suffocate them in space or something. So she says, when I die, what I want on my gravestone is that I was like killed in space by my own bra or something like that, which I always thought was a pretty interesting way to go.
Carrie Fisher was she was a character. She was a real character, and she had, you know, she was full of life, and you know, she had her problems and she had her issues, but you know, she always brought her best performance to the table and always was trying to make people laugh. And I don't know if anybody's seen this particular episode of this TV show, but so Jim Jeffries, the comedian, he had his own comedy series for a while on FX called Legit. And Carrie Fisher plays a female network executive. And basically they kind of turn the roles around, the whole casting couch thing. And Jim Jeffries has to like go down on her to get a job.
Oh my God.
And he keeps
Jim
failing
Jeffries is
at
a
it. Like he
character.
keeps doing a bad job. And everything is so transparent that the Hollywood, that the Carrie Fisher's character is reporting to his agent and saying, he didn't make me come. He didn't make me come. Like he's not getting the job. He's not getting the job. And it is just fucking brilliant. And she kills it. She does it so straight faced. She's just like, Jim Jeffries comes in, sits down during their first meeting, and she's like, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I really don't have a lot of time. You want to get down here and take care of this now? And I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, Princess Leia. I was like, this is crazy. Crazy, man. It was, you know, if you haven't seen Legit, go watch it. It's fucking, it's really funny.
I've only seen his stand up.
Really
I
funny.
haven't seen his show. I should really support
Yeah,
him.
Legit's great. Legit's great. It's so good. So good.
All right, let me ask you guys something. What
Sure.
throughout all 9 movies and everything in between? Actually, no Clone Wars. What's your favorite lightsaber fight?
No Clone Wars?
No Clone Wars. Come on, that's the entire appeal of Clone Wars. So no Clone Wars.
Well, the lightsaber fight I just saw is now my favorite
Oh,
lightsaber
don't
fight.
spoil it. Full disclosure, I haven't finished the latest season yet because I need to binge it, and don't.
They put the last episode up today, and it was satisfying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's
say.
cool. So I'm probably gonna watch it this
Yeah.
week.
Satisfying. That's like an interesting
Yep.
word for it.
It is an interesting word for it. It was a nice payoff. Okay, so
Okay.
let's go around the room. Favorite lightsaber fight.
I'm gonna go. Okay, so I actually like it's not my favorite, but I was really impressed by the one inside the latest Rise of Skywalker, like just the Rey and Kylo one. I really did like that. It's not my favorite, but I didn't want to give that like a kind of like
Right.
an honorable mention. I'm trying to remember kind of which is my favorite because there's so many. Like I kind of want to go to the originals, but I will always remember like
Palpatine?
Yoda
Oh,
and like
okay, yeah.
Count Dooku, and like okay, no, I'm changing it. No, you know what? I'm changing it to
Yeah?
Mace Windu and Chancellor.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't know, cause like Samuel Jackson. Oh, guys, this is bad.
I
Maybe
know
shouldn't
that
have
was a
gone
good
first.
fight.
Guys,
No,
go
I
ahead.
I
really-
love
No,
that
it's
fight.
okay.
That was one of my favorite fights.
Yeah,
Mace,
he kills
Mace Windu
yeah.
is like one
Yeah.
of my favorite. Like it's probably was my favorite like Jedi while I was watching it. Now it's changed, and I really wanted to see him do something cool. And like no offense to like Ian McDermott, but like the fact that he wanted to do that fight scene at least a little bit like with like actually with him and not with a stunt double, I think it suffered a little bit, but you can actually see like that fight scene was pretty intricate and pretty good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I really did like a lot of like obviously the originals were really good and I prefer the originals to the prequels, but I really think that they had a really good like
Mhm.
lightsaber fights in the prequels.
Yeah,
honestly.
I honestly like that's why I fell in love with the prequels. Like I'll always be like 4, 5, 6. That'll always be my favorite. I grew up with that. Like that's my childhood. It kind of has an unfair advantage for me because it's like nostalgia, like and it's like my whatever. But like 1, 2, and 3, like I don't care if I sound childish. Like I fell in love with 1, 2, and 3 because of the lightsaber fights, and I think Duel of the Fates, Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan will always be my favorite.
Pretty good.
And like
Oh.
yeah,
It's
I'll
a pretty
always
good
defend
one.
that one.
Yeah.
a good
But
one.
Pretty good one.
I can't respect myself if I didn't pick Darth Vader and Luke in Empire Strikes Back as my all-time
Yeah.
favorite. Yeah.
Oh,
Cloud
that's
City?
such a
Yeah,
good
that's
one.
Yeah, the Cloud City fight was so good. And I love how
Oh,
he loses.
my
Cloud
goodness.
Like
Yeah.
like I love that he loses in that movie. It's like the hero can't always win. And like
Mhm.
I like that one the best. Yeah.
And he just falls down that
That's a
tunnel
standoff.
and lands perfectly.
He does. Yeah, he does. I would say my favorite. Okay, I don't know if you're probably gonna say this doesn't qualify as a lightsaber battle, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The throne room scene in The Last Jedi. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Oh, you mean the
Because
dance scene?
They're not technically fighting. They're technically not
disco
fighting
dancing, no?
anybody with lightsabers.
The Knights of
Yeah.
Ren fight. Okay.
No,
yeah.
not the Knights of Ren.
No, it was the
Are you talking about the lightning?
yeah, no.
No, Kylo.
It was the
no, Last
Praetorian
Jedi.
Guards.
Kylo, Rey,
Oh, yeah.
The
I
big-
got it.
the
Mhm.
big red.
I remember
throne
that
room.
fight.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
definitely among my favorites. But most of my favorite lightsaber fights are in the animation.
Oh yeah.
Like the lightsaber fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul in Rebels is fucking
yeah.
the most
so
beautifully.
it's so good. So good.
Oh, I've seen that.
It's so good. It lasts 3
Yeah.
seconds, but those 3 seconds mean so
Yeah.
much. Like they're like the subtext in that scene, the subtext in the strategy that Obi-Wan employs against Darth Maul in that fight says more in that 3 seconds than any other lightsaber battle in the
Mhm.
history of Star Wars. Like it
Yeah.
just has so much. Like it's literally 30 years, like almost like 30 to 50 years.
of a grudge
you know,
match ending like
Yeah,
in the battle
exactly.
of the mind, and essentially not through like
Exactly.
physical prowess. It was them outsmarting each. Yeah, for sure, I get that.
Exactly. And
Speaking
it's-
to that for a second, like the whole subtext in
Yeah.
fight scenes. You know what I've always loved is in Duel of the Fates, where they all get separated in that hallway with the like the laser walls. I don't know what it was, and
the ray
yeah,
shields,
the ratio, yeah,
ray shields.
and then
Yep.
like I love that thing because it speaks so much to their character. Where Qui-Gon Jinn like sits down because he's the master and he needs to calm himself down, and then Obi-Wan was like the eager young like spry apprentice. So he's like standing up like a hop, and then Darth Maul pacing like a predator, like looking at his prey, like maintaining
Mhm.
eye contact completely. I love that I love that scene. That was my favorite part of that entire fight scene, and that wasn't even like a fight. Like it was just them
Pretty
like
cool.
like showing their characters without any dialogue, just with looks and movements. Yeah, that's why that fight
Do you
scene's my
guys
favorite.
know? Do you guys know that there's a force power shown in the Phantom Menace that was never ever seen again? Did you guys catch
what
it?
was it?
I don't know.
Wait,
but let me
I
see.
didn't get to pick my fight
yeah,
scene
go,
though.
go.
Before we
Oh
move
yeah,
on.
go ahead, Christina.
I was gonna
ahead.
pick Yoda versus Darth Sidious in
Yeah.
Revenge
Oh, yeah?
of the Sith. Yeah, it was
Okay.
just so fun. It was just so fun
Yeah,
to
that's
see
a good
Yoda
one.
become like sprightly. Like he's always walking around like so careful, and then whenever he goes into a fight scene or something, he's just jumping around like bouncing off the walls. And then that one, it was cool because they were throwing like the pods
Yeah,
around.
that was so
yeah, that was like a cool fight scene.
Well, that's the only way he can fight, right?
Yeah.
So
And I love how
it's-
Sidious was
it's that
laughing the whole
style.
time. like he's
Yeah.
such a demoralizing opponent. Like he just laughs at
Yep.
you while he's like destroying you.
Yeah, and he killed so many Jedi too. Ridiculous amount of Jedi. Insane.
So back to your
Yeah.
question. I'm trying to remember. Was it?
Yeah.
Wait.
Was something-
it's
who
obviously-
did it?
it's obviously-
Wait, actually, don't
well,
tell me.
I actually don't know, but let me guess.
yeah, it's
is
Phantom
it-
Menace. Like you
is it,
you can do the math. Yeah.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan
Yeah.
doing that weird dash in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, it's force speed.
That was really weird.
Force speed, and never saw it again. I was like, why?
I swear
Like-
that when I first watched it, I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was just like a CGI mistake that they left in there. To be honest, it's really weird.
one of the best experiences you can get from the Star Wars books, the books or the comics, is just seeing the whole breadth of force abilities, right? Like seeing the whole roster of what's available to these Jedi to be able to do. Like in certain books, you know, these guys are like fucking jumping, like we're talking like 30-40 feet into the air. We're talking about force speed, we're talking about all kinds of crazy shit. And I want to see that in my Star Wars movies. Like, I don't know whether they're too scared to kind of bring Jedis too close to superheroes. Like maybe they're trying to kind of create this gap between them where, yeah, you know what, they have mystical abilities and they're able to tap into some magic systems, et cetera, using, their bio-organic connection to the Force, blah, 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 blah. But like, why can't we get to see them, do other things that are more physically impressive? Like, why can't we see force speed? Why can't we see like super crazy jumping? Like we see them land, like, we've definitely seen them, fall 50-40 feet and not be injured. Like that's something that's definitely has something to do with the Force. But well, maybe they kind of showed it in the Rise of Skywalker when Rey and Kylo were jumping across the
you've seen that all across the prequels, and I think like as of late, it's the opposite of what your argument. Where like I think they're doing too much. Like they're breaking the rules of their own system. Like I definitely want to see an expansion of Force abilities myself, and I didn't like the new movies because of how limited they were. And then towards the end of the last trilogy, they went overboard. I think like they went like. So they just chose
like they really
random crap and they just
overcorrected.
crammed it in there. Like at least follow the rules and expand within the confines of the rules, and not just force lightning in the air that shuts down an entire army. I don't know. Something you were saying?
And I feel like it's supposed to be hard, and there's supposed to be this almost like religious aspect to it or training aspect to it. So, like, definitely, it's kind of weird when you see someone do something really epic and it's easy and it's out of nowhere.
It's out of nowhere.
Yeah, Chris, you know what? You're right, because like there's a lot of stuff in the Rise of Skywalker I think I've just shut out of my mind that I think I said during our film review for the Rise of Skywalker, I said, we saw Rey climbing up the wreckage of the Death Star, but why wasn't she like floating
levitating
to get up to those places? Because we saw her doing that in the beginning
or lift
of the movie,
everybody
right?
off the sand and stuff.
It's not as cool
Yeah,
a shot,
no.
Frank.
But I do agree with
That's
you,
like-
Frank, where I
know.
really love, although I have a suspicion that like they would like do cool things in Clone Wars, the original Clone Wars before it was 3D animated. They would do like cool things there, and then like later on they would just put a name to it. So for example, like I've always laughed at this when Qui-Gon or when Mace Windu crushes. You guys notice how like General Grievous has a cough in the movie. That was actually Mace Windu that did that. He crushed his like his solar plexus, his chest, right, with the Force essentially. and everybody was like calling it like, oh, it's a move in the Jedi Academy. It's called Force Crush, and it's like, are you sure he didn't just use the Force to like crush? Like, did it have to be a
Like, yeah.
technique, or are you just naming it after the fact? I've always found it weird how like things would get names after they did them in movies, but no one would ever address it. It's just like fans kind of like subcategorizing.
Well, it's like a force choke almost. I mean,
Yeah,
like
force
Darth
choke. Yeah,
Vader
yeah,
is
yeah.
like known for his force choke. So it's just another. I always wonder like how far that could go.
Right,
Like, could you
right.
like pop someone's
Yeah.
eyes out? Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, here's a
Um,
question before we move on.
Yeah.
Here's a question I've always like wondered about. I don't know if you guys like remember this, but like in in Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo like walks into that trap in Cloud City. And that famous line of like, we would be honored
Yeah.
if you join us. Like Han Solo shoots Darth Vader. Darth Vader grabs blocks the
Yeah.
shots in the air with his
with
hand.
his hand.
My question is that because he's got metal hands, or is that force power? I mean, I understand like
It's
his
force.
reflexes are yeah.
It's force.
I have
yeah.
force.
Yeah. Like I like the way that Kylo Ren did it a lot.
Oh, hell
better.
yeah.
Like it just more. Yeah,
That
it
set
just
the
more
freezes
tone
it.
for the
impressive.
movie so well for
right?
me when
Yeah.
he stopped it.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking crazy. And then
And then
Yeah.
like
and it
Poe walking
continues
by
on,
it.
and
I
it
thought that
continues
was
on
really
and
cool.
explodes.
No,
That
and I
was
loved it
fucking
because
crazy.
it was
Yeah.
like they had the entire conversation scene after that while the electricity the laser bolt was off screen, and you like everybody was wandering in their head like what's going on with that bolt, and then when they end the scene it just continues. It's like, oh my god, this guy's so powerful. Like I love that entire scene so much. That's probably my favorite scene in that movie, probably.
Okay, so I got a question. If you guys could pick 3 Star Wars characters to go into battle with you, who would it be?
Should I go?
Battle with me.
Asajj Ventress.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
go first.
Asajj Ventress, okay.
Assuming I have enough blackmailing material that she won't betray me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
you
well,
fucked
she has
over.
loyalty.
She does.
Jango Fett, because he's got the
Jango
tech.
Fett, okay.
Oh wait, can I like pick from like multiple camps? Because I don't think Jango Fett and
Yeah,
Mace
of
Windu will
course.
get along.
You already did. You just picked Asajj Ventress and
Yeah.
fucking
General
thing.
Krell.
They're not in the same camp. Who? General Krell?
General Krell. Four-armed motherfucker
The guy
with
that
the
almost
yes.
killed his own
Actually, no,
soldiers?
fuck that.
Okay.
Fuck that. Rex.
Rex? Okay.
Captain Rex.
All right, good choices. Go ahead, Saba, you
Okay.
next.
I'm sticking to the movies. Maybe. Wait, let me think. Mando in the new Mandalorian seems like he's always down for a fight. Like he
Yo,
seems
my
like
Mando will beat your Mando.
Oh. Okay. You know what? I'll choose him. We'll see. Let's do this. I'm choosing 3 people. All right. I gotta have Qui-Gon Jinn.
True.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Wait, no. Should I? Okay, I'm gonna stick with my guns and not change my mind.
No.
Yeah,
just 'cause
it's off the top of my
just 'cause
head.
I said wow.
Okay, and then you know what? I'm just gonna go with one of my first crushes, Luke. A team of
Shit.
cuties.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Wait, can I change mine? Oh, I got the perfect team, guys.
So-
BB-8,
so-
R2-D2, and Jar Jar Binks. I'm never gonna lose. I'm the fan favorites.
So Saba, you're gonna be doing more loving than fighting.
Just
Is that
all
what you're trying to
gonna-
say?
It's gonna turn into like a weird version of The Bachelorette somehow.
Nice.
I'll be giving out roses.
Okay.
You just want to date with Luke.
That could be it.
But that's only 2.
No, I chose Qui-Gon Jinn.
that's only
I
2 though.
Qui-Gon Jinn,
Oh.
Mando, and Luke.
Okay, cool. All right, that's a good. I like that. Christina, you're next.
Yeah. I'll take Ahsoka Tano,
Oh,
but
nice.
then we need somebody who can kind of like keep her in line and calm her down because I feel like she's a
Keep
bit of
her
a
in
rebel
line.
from what I've seen. So I'll take Mando because I feel like Mando's like really level-headed and he could deal with her. And
He's stoic, that's for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And I'll take Yoda just because I don't know, he's wise and I feel like he could negotiate if we needed him.
Nice. Okay. I'm taking Ahsoka Tano, Han Solo, and Chewbacca.
I was thinking Han,
Han
just
and
for the
Chewie.
fun of it.
Oh,
why go
Obi-Wan
Han
would have
and
been
Chewie?
good too. I don't know.
They're like,
Yeah.
they fulfill the same thing. Han and Chewie are like the same guy.
Ahsoka. Okay, to me, Ahsoka is the most impressive Jedi. Period. Like, I know that's a crazy argument to make, given that Luke and Anakin, they've basically been called the chosen ones at any given time. Anakin more than Luke, obviously, but Ahsoka Tano to me is the most accomplished Jedi in the history of Star Wars. Like
I feel like she's also Taika's style. Do we think that Taika is
That
going to
would
use
be
Ahsoka in his
amazing.
movies?
that would be cool. That would
I
be
would love
cool.
that.
But my fear is that Taika would try and make her funny, and she's not really that funny at all. She's quick-witted and she's
snarky.
sharp and she's
Yeah,
snarky.
She's
Yeah,
snarky.
but she's not funny.
That
She
is
Like
can
she's
true.
not
be.
like, yeah, I guess
She
to
doesn't
a
have to be
degree,
funny. He could have like a sidekick that's funny, or he can like
Yeah.
but I guess.
Also, I think he
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
won't.
Ray's not really funny.
Yeah. I think they won't revisit that time period. Anyway, at least in my head, I feel like he wouldn't revisit
Yeah.
that time period.
I think that's a risky road to go down right now. So, okay, another question. Now, I want you to think in terms of the most interesting life. Like, who could give you the best story? Okay. Who would you want to bring on the podcast and interview?
oh
Okay, not Yoda, because he would just be like, it would get frustrating to talk to him. You know what I mean? Because you'd want like
Yeah.
a straight answer. I feel like Mace Windu has some stories.
I feel
Jar
like
Jar
Han
Binks.
Solo would like play into it.
Really?
He would love to be
Okay.
interviewed.
If we could get a translator for
that's
Chewie, I think
Okay.
that would be
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Because he's so old.
That not only that, but like also he's quite funny, and I like how he's this big. It's supposed to be this like scary sort of thing, but like he also is kind of whiny sometimes and gets like annoyed and like kind of like a baby. So I just really like his character, and I think he would, tell us some behind the scene things. Maybe he'd rant about some of the stuff he's not happy about. You know.
No, not like not the kid, not the actor. Like I'm like
No, I'm talking about
saying-
Character.
Chewbacca.
in the
I'm not
context
talking
of-
about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well-
we're not
well,
talking about the
because you
actors.
said-
We're talking about the actual characters.
Yeah, I know.
Are you talking
but
about the actor?
No,
Oh,
because Saba said behind the scenes.
No,
and
I
was
mean
like,
behind the scenes of like
Uh-huh.
Stories
Oh,
of
okay,
him and
okay.
Han, and then like everything else. And
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
yeah, like them drinking
Okay.
at like in like Mos Eisley or something, and like that time they
Okay,
got
maybe
drunk.
you can explain to us how the moon killed him. That would be
The
a
who?
good story to start with. The moon killed him in Legends.
Oh, is that right?
There was a moon. It like landed on him and killed him.
Interesting.
Really?
Was it like Thanos?
Yeah, crazy.
Did Thanos
right?
bring it down?
Yeah, crazy. Chris, who are you inviting on the podcast to interview, pal?
R2D2.
Nice.
He's the chronicler. He has all the stories.
That's
like,
good.
There's
That's
nobody
good.
else. Him or Jar Jar Binks. I just want to piss off as many fans as I can by saying Jar Jar Binks over and
You know
over
what?
again.
Jar
Okay.
Jar would.
And then
Well,
honestly, Jar Jar, so I can ask him finally if Darth Jar Jar is a real thing.
Yes.
Like we
But he's
need
not
a
gonna
straight answer
reveal
from
it.
Jar Jar. I mean, he
If
might.
he's the Sith Master, he's not going to
I mean,
reveal
he might.
it.
I will get him drunk first, obviously.
He's got the long game,
I
man.
love
He's
it.
got the long game. You know,
That's true.
he's playing.
But
the long
then, but if
game.
I'll offer to join him because he knows I'm dark side through
Yeah.
and through. I've always been team dark side. So I'll offer to join him, and then I'll be like, "Don't worry, my friends are on our side," and then he'll say everything. I won't even tell him we're recording. And then we got him.
Okay, Christina, who are you bringing on the podcast?
I did say Han Solo, so
Oh, okay.
I would like
Okay.
to see that. But it would be cool if he was with Leia. I feel like they would have a good back
Oh
and forth.
God,
We could do like couples counseling or something.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is exactly what it would be.
we could do like an episode of Maury and bring on girls from around the galaxy with illegitimate children.
That's more
Han
Poe,
Solo,
I think.
you are the father.
Poe
It would definitely.
has
God
Yoda would
damn it.
host it.
children out
Yoda
there.
would host that episode.
Yeah.
The more.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Okay, so I hate to sound repetitive, but Ahsoka Tano. And the reason I say Ahsoka Tano is because, one, she was a child soldier. I want to
Mm.
get in that head. I want to find out where she is psychologically. Like, I have to know whether she's
Yeah.
still mentally healthy or not. And I also need to know how she dealt with the war. And I need to know what she was really feeling when she left the Jedi, especially after everything came together, like she got exonerated from those charges. Like, I have to have that
Yeah.
story.
Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting you say child soldier because I've often thought of Jedi's as like Shaolin monks.
Yeah.
And it's like being taken into the monastery is not the same. And like it made me think like any of the clones, I'd want to talk to any of the clones. They're child soldiers. They were
Yeah,
bred for that.
yeah.
And that's the only thing they did. Like, it would be interesting to see whether or not their individuality is actually like a thing. Like, because you see that in like Clone Wars a lot. Like Rex is very different from Cody and Nines and whatever. But like seeing them, knowing what it's like, them growing up for one thing, warfare, and then like them, you know what I mean, like them
Yeah.
having brothers that are identical to them. That would be pretty interesting. But I like your point. I like your point about Ahsoka. Like that would be
She is a child
pretty
soldier,
interesting.
dude. Like,
yeah.
okay.
She did seem pretty gung ho about wanting to be taken seriously as a Jedi, though.
She did.
So I don't know if that caused much trauma for her.
She did, but she is a child soldier, right? Like she starts fighting at like 13. Like she's fucking fighting in like on the battlefield, and she's a commander on the battlefield just because she's a Padawan. Like she automatically gets this status to lead these clone troopers, which is crazy. And I love how she, really bonds with them. That's really cool and everything. But she is a child soldier. You know what I would love to see? You know those documentaries that are on Netflix about the Vietnam War and World War II and whatever? I would love to see Werner Herzog do like a fictional, just take a fictional war inside Star Wars,
amazing,
and like interview clone troopers and interview Ahsoka Tano and Anakin and like get.
Oh my god, I love that.
Wouldn't that be
That's
fucking
really
cool as shit?
That would be so great.
Wouldn't that be so dope? Like that would be so
amazing.
I like
awesome.
that.
And then they
Speaking
can
of
like talk about the battles the same way that they did in the documentary. The battle for Endor was was dark. It was dark, We were in these forests and we met these indigenous teddy bears who were who wanted to eat us. Who were roaming around the forest. Yeah.
And it turns out they were the best soldiers in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And they were adorable.
No, for sure. Like I would love to see something like that. I think that would be fucking cool as shit. And now that Werner Herzog is a part of the Star Wars universe, that would be so cool to see him just like, pick up his documentary camera and do it all over again. That'd be really dope. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Do you have a favorite planet or city?
Do I?
Star Wars?
Yes. I
Yeah.
definitely do. Coruscant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a cool one.
Yeah, I love Coruscant. I love the Jedi Temple. I've always wanted like a really nice piece of art of the Jedi Temple, but I've never been able to find it. I'm actually thinking about getting someone to commission one, like an artist to commission one. I don't know. I just, for some reason, one of the big appeals to Star Wars for me was I was a disenfranchised Catholic when I was like 12, 13. And when I started looking at different belief systems and I came across, the way that the Jedi kind of saw their spirituality, it really appealed to me because it didn't have any, it didn't have any of the echoes of Catholicism. It was, it wasn't rooted in a god. It was rooted in the energies and the in the universe. So
yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel that too. I've always been more drawn to like mythologies around energies rather than like people or being.
Yeah.
What's that level in Coruscant? 1313, is it?
1313, yeah.
I kind of like that, but no, I have to be original. Maybe Mos Eisley. Probably. I love Mos Eisley. It's so cool.
So Tatooine.
Yeah, Tatooine, but like Mos Eisley specifically.
Okay.
Scum and villainy.
I really like I honestly I think this is like a good place to retire.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, especially where Padme lived as well.
Only if you're like
area
sand.
And if there's a lot of deleted scenes, and in the deleted scenes there's scenes with her family and things like that, and the house that they had and whatever else. And I was like, this is such a beautiful quaint place. It's cottage country. It feels like
Nice.
That is really nice.
Well,
away from the action.
Well, they shot
at
it.
least for
they
now.
shot it in Lake Como, Italy, right? So it's all
is that right?
actual Renaissance palaces and houses, and so that place is just beautiful. It's so picturesque and just a feast for the eyes. So I would definitely maybe do my retirement years in Naboo for sure.
But if you hate sand, that's the worst place to be.
Yeah,
I know. That's the issue.
I'm gonna go with Scarif because they have really nice.
Oh,
beaches.
Scarif, yeah. Scarif was good.
Kashyyyk had nice
they only had
beaches,
that
too.
one island on the whole fucking planet.
That's true. Yeah.
Star Wars is
I know.
so
I don't
weird
know. I
with
wouldn't
that,
like that.
They're so
Yeah.
weird with that.
One
There's
biome.
no other cities anywhere.
Yeah.
There's just one city on the fucking planet.
No, not only that. It's the entire planet is snow. There's no other biomes. It's just snow. It's like the desert planet. It's just desert. You guys don't get any rain. It's so weird.
know. And there's so many desert planets.
That's
This
true.
is my issue. Is that why there's just an
No shit.
insane
Yeah.
amount.
It would take too many resources to terraform the planet.
Yeah.
They're just worried about the atmosphere.
there's no-
and that's it.
Yeah, there's no Goldilocks planets. It's all just it's all one biome somehow. It's so weird.
Alderaan looked pretty cool too.
Alderaan
Yeah.
looked good.
Yeah.
I could live there.
Yeah, Alderaan looked good for sure. And the other one I would say
Alderaan
is,
was Earth. Pretty much. So was Naboo, actually.
Yeah, the other one I would say is
I picked both planets that ended up getting destroyed, so I'd definitely be dead in this universe.
Yeah.
Yavin looked pretty good too. Yavin looked
Yavin
pretty good.
Well,
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
can we
Yeah, Yavin
choose
did.
like the Death Star? Because like I wouldn't want to live in a Death Star, but I thought that was the coolest visual thing I've seen in that movie was when they were like running around the Death Star. Like I thought it was the coolest thing.
Guys,
Everything was
guys,
shiny. Everything was.
You gotta read Lost Stars. Like they tell you how many people lived on the Death Star. They tell you about the jobs that were on the
Oh,
Death
that's
Star.
cool.
They tell you about the cafeteria that was
those
on the Death Star.
those
No
yeah,
way.
those
It is-
mass murdering rebels. I'm
It
telling
is
you.
so fucking detailed. Listen, dude, that notion, the mass murdering rebels, that joke was what made Kevin Smith a fucking world famous director. Like when he put that in Clerks, when they were having that debate about whether it was just like hired laborers that got blown up on the Death Star because they were doing some sort of real world parallels between like using like off book Mexican labor in, California to like who was building the Death Star. It had to be some off book immigrant, right? Like that was they make this fucking hilarious joke and it turns Kevin Smith into like this nerd whisperer.
Wow,
like he's the
really?
guy, Hilarious. Crazy.
I mean that theory would have, or that like notion would have more credence if the Death Star didn't blow up an entire planet in the beginning of the movie. I'd feel more bad for the Death Star, but Alderaan was a very
Yes,
peaceful
I
planet.
agree.
Hey, you
I agree.
fucking shot it.
I think that the destruction of Alderaan is what immediately shows you who the Empire really is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
immediately.
it's such a epic scene, and
Yeah.
like because it's so early in the movies, like you don't know if it's gonna go there,
Yeah.
and like they just did it. They went there, and it's just
Yep.
like whoa. So that's like such an epic scene for me.
There's a whole like do you guys know there's a whole subreddit dedicated to the Empire did nothing wrong? It's actually called that.
Oh wow.
Weird.
There's
Oh, I haven't
people
read it.
defending
Shot
the
all
actions of the
Alderaan.
Empire the whole way through. It
I
doesn't
mean,
matter
there
what
are
it is.
there are very defensible things, but they shot Alderaan.
How
That's
about
all I'm gonna say.
slavery? How about
Oh
slavery?
no, I'm not. Well, obviously,
How about that?
obviously,
Yeah.
listen to my wording very carefully, Frank.
Yeah.
There are some defensible things. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not defending them,
Yeah.
and it's like at the end of the day, they're the bad guys. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like,
Yeah, like our first
yeah,
introduction was
you
them
do
blowing
see
up an
them.
entire
You do see
planet.
them on
So-
the Mandalorian, the show, and see like what happens in their absence. Right? There's no law. There's no whatever. Like
Sure.
they were, and yeah. So it's like I would have really rather the Empire be this nuanced like thing. Like they're authoritarian.
Oh, me too, dude.
But they're
Yeah.
not evil by any means,
Me
except
too.
for the the means to get control, whatever.
Yeah.
But instead, they're just evildoers and and like planet blowers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good versus
Yeah.
evil hero.
I'm sure
That's
that
story.
Reddit is full of trolls though, and people like joking around as well.
Yeah, but
so-
no, but like, okay, a troll doesn't create an entire community where people can
Yes, they do.
kind of
I
echo.
feel like they do. I feel like a troll.
That's exactly what they
What do you
do.
call 4chan?
Okay, call me an optimist. Okay, I try to see the best in everybody. Okay, anyway,
Trolls take like crazy stances on
It's
things
true.
and then try to defend it,
it's
right?
true.
But I don't know if they're real people, if they're real opinions, and like I don't know, it's concerning. I would wonder what they're like in real life if they're not trolls.
Okay, so moving on. Fuck, marry, kill.
That's so
Oh.
fun.
Okay,
Chewie.
Can we rephrase it? Can we say date?
Oh Jesus
Marry-
Christ!
I don't know.
Do marry, kill. Is
Okay.
that better?
Go
Okay,
on a date
I'll
with
go,
it.
I'll go.
Okay, whatever. Do whatever you want.
I'll go.
Fine.
Chewie, Jar Jar,
Wait a second.
Wait,
And-
you have to
and-
tell us which one's which.
and
I'm
Queel.
confused.
No,
Chew-
I'm doing fuck, marry, kill. So
Chewie?
for him, it's
'Cause I'm a
fuck
furry.
Chewie.
Oh my god.
Jar Jar.
Yep.
Jar
We all
Jar,
knew
because
that. We
he's
all
is
knew
in
that.
politics and he's like he's marriage material.
Oh my
and
god.
and Queel just because probably like I don't know
Oh
why
my
Queel. I just
God.
wanted to say Queel. No, so I can inherit his ranch
You're hilarious.
and then live there with Jar Jar,
You're
and
hilarious.
then have my side piece Chewie visit me once in a while.
That's funny.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Go.
Wow. Okay, Christina, go.
Well, I'm definitely going to be attracted to.
Wait. Hold on a sec. We're leaving a very important question unanswered about Chris's list.
Yeah.
Wait.
Chris, are you topping Chewie or is Chewie topping you?
Yeah, like I don't
want to get into the
I don't think.
conversation.
Listen, I don't think Chewie would be comfortable if I divulge that sort of information. Like I don't know who's listening. Yeah, he'll rip my arms off, man.
Yeah, a true gentleman
Exactly.
never tells.
Wow.
Frank.
Wow. All right.
Although gentleman's not the right word for it. No, I'm gonna stop right there.
Hilarious.
Okay, this list is gonna change for me because, like, oh wait, Christina, you were next. Sorry.
Okay. Do you want to go if you're ready? I don't think I have all three of my picks.
Well, because these two I'm like interchanging right now because I don't know which one I would marry or which one I would have.
Is it Luke
with.
and Poe? Because I know.
How did you know? Chris, you know me so well. Yeah, Luke or Poe Dameron. You know, it's like which one? For kill, like Jabba the Hutt. Like, you know.
But you have to settle. You have to settle on your first two choices.
Oh my gosh, am I gonna marry Luke or not? But Luke, okay, Luke kind of had a lot of issues, and
not if you fix him,
and like,
because
I don't want to fix her upper. Also, Luke can't because he's. But then I don't want to like just do Luke. I want us to have a friendship after. Do you think that's possible?
Not if you're marrying. Not if you're marrying Poe.
Hard.
If you marry Poe, there's not gonna be a thing.
Okay, fine. I'll marry Luke because I just feel like that's probably more stable than marrying Poe.
That's not bad.
Okay. I would definitely end up sleeping with Kylo Ren. That would happen. But
yeah,
I would definitely regret it.
I thought you were gonna say Han Solo. Huh.
He's like not gonna call me the next day. He's just gonna like ghost me. He'll call me like crying about something and then never talk to me again. Okay. It'll be an emotional roller coaster.
You'd 100% do that.
Yeah. And he'll like force contact me in the middle of the night, like, hey man, I can't sleep.
Hey, you up?
So
it's like, I'm up. You're in the room with me with your false fucking projection.
New phone, who this?
Yeah.
Yeah, new phone, who this? You can see me.
So that would happen. And then I guess I would want to marry Finn. Like, he's adventurous but stable at the same time. He has like such a good balance, and I don't know. I feel like he's a good, caring friend. Like, yeah, I think I would want to marry Finn and kill. I don't know. I don't think we should be killing people, guys.
There's a lot of evil people.
Should be putting people on trial, putting them in jail, giving them a chance to rehabilitate.
But it would be Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, Darth Vader.
What about Jabba?
Wow.
Darth Vader. Maybe Kylo too. I feel like he belongs in both.
Wait, you're gonna sleep with him and then kill him? Jesus Christ, Christina.
Not kill him. Put him in jail and try to get him some rehab and somehow.
What about Hux? Hux is a good one to kill.
Yeah. I feel like I could kill Hux. Yeah. I think
everybody could kill Hux.
I feel like he's just annoying.
So mine goes like this. Let's see. I'm having a toss up between Bang and Mary. No, you know what? Yeah. Bang Sabine Wren, marry Padme.
That's good.
And kill. Who am I going to kill?
Yeah, the kill one's hard because it's like anybody who's. Like,
Dooku.
Yeah.
bad.
Dooku.
Why?
I don't believe in killing guys.
Dooku.
Why Dooku?
Just because if I could beat him, I'd be the best lightsaber swordsman of all time.
But let's be fair, you can't.
No, I can't.
That's Dooku.
I would get fucked up in a second. I wouldn't even have a chance.
Man, I love Dooku for that reason. But anyways.
Yeah, he's a badass, dude. He's a master swordsman.
He never should have lost to.
He's a master
Anakin,
swordsman.
honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Padme's a good choice.
Sabine was a good choice. I like that a lot.
I love Sabine.
Yeah.
I have such a crush
for
on
a cartoon, she's hot as fuck.
Wait, who's that? Oh, no, never mind.
Hey, listen, guys, we live in the age of hot
Sabine.
cartoons. Like, it exists now, you know?
Okay, if Chris and I watch anime.
And play Final Fantasy VII.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tifa. I love Tifa.
So, who's got another good Star Wars hypothetical?
Hypothetical.
Okay,
Oh,
let's see.
Ship. What ship would you want?
Oh,
Out of all the ships,
Slave
never
4.
everybody can say the goddamn Millennium Falcon.
No, fuck the Millennium Falcon. The Slave 4.
Okay.
Slave. Oh, right. The slave. Right.
Honestly, maybe
no,
not
it's a slave
because
1, dude.
no, Slave 4 was Boba's.
You know what? I want my own X-Wing. As a kid, I was obsessed with X-Wings. They were the coolest freaking thing ever. Like, I had a little X-Wing, and you know what? I want my own X-Wing.
I like that.
This is
I
a
like
childhood
that.
dream of
Would you
mine.
get Poe's
X-Wings are
X-Wing?
dope.
I feel like I'd
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
dope.
poses.
I feel like I'd want to fly a TIE fighter. They're just so, I don't know, agile.
They are, yeah.
Compact.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty
they are
compact.
agile. That's not my choice, by the way. I'm still thinking. You go, Frank.
The B-wing.
B-wing. Why?
One of the
I-
one of the
I
fastest
feel like
ships.
that thing is gonna like bump into stuff. That looks like a dangerous ship. To
No,
fly.
it's dope. It's one of the fastest ships. It's
Is
agile.
it faster than the Millennium Falcon?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
You know what?
It's an assault fighter. It's yeah.
It's just like I just like don't like how I like it when I can clearly tell what is up and down and sideways. Like just the orientation of it.
Speaking of
is, like-
orientation, we have to talk about this. Okay, we really have to figure this out. The Millennium Falcon, right? In New Hope, the gun
yes.
turrets.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we first see them trying to repel the TIE fighters after they've left the Death Star,
Yeah.
Han
And they're
goes
shooting.
up the ladder, Luke goes down the ladder. Right?
Yeah.
Does he actually? Don't they both
No.
go up?
No, yeah, one of them goes up, one goes down. Yeah,
Oh,
what about
one
it?
goes down.
One goes up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the way that the craft is oriented, right? Wouldn't they have to have targets above them the entire time?
No. The thing swivels on a semicircle.
No. I know that, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like because of the size of the craft and because the guns are right in the fucking middle of it, it would make it very hard to be able to target craft in front of you and craft behind you,
Yeah, probably.
right? Yeah, that never. Oh, and plus, like, is Luke
Well,
upside
that-
down or is Han upside down? Like, is one of them upside down?
Neither of them.
That's so true. To be honest,
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Is Luke
Like, to
upside
be
down
honest,
or is Han
I've never
upside down?
liked the Millennium Falcon. Like, I've always
I
liked the way it
love the
looked.
Millennium Falcon.
I hate the cockpit on the one side. It
Oh, I
just
love
bothers. It bothers me so much.
Asymmetrical is
know.
very cool looking. I like that.
Asymmetrical's
in the middle,
fine,
yeah.
but you're on one edge of the edge of the whole thing. I don't know. It's weird to me. But for me, I think I'll have to go with the Jedi fighter because it's capable of light speed and it's kind of like the cross country motorcycle of that universe. Because you're a badass riding that damn thing,
Yeah.
and it's only made for one person, and probably all the girls want you because it's a fucking Harley Davidson. It's
No,
the Harley
That's what
Davidson.
you're doing it for the girls.
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, I'm not gonna be a Jedi while I have it. I'll just I'll just have it like I stole it. Like I ride it like I stole it because I probably did from a Jedi.
Ride it like
That's how I get all the girls.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just a joyride. You're saying?
No, it's mine. I stole it from the Jedi I
okay.
killed. And now I'm
Okay.
riding the space equivalent of a Harley Davidson, and I also have my my R2D2 on.
Oh,
What
a
would you-
pod
what would
racer looks fun to
you-
drive too. I would totally. wanna
Yeah,
do
but you're
that.
stuck on a
Oh,
planet.
yeah.
Yeah, but the pod, like I don't. Yeah, I guess they're fun to drive, but they're definitely not practical. Like you couldn't go get groceries in that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I
it's
feel like
fucking
you
tough.
could.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You couldn't fly into
Oh,
space
shit.
with it.
I love
but-
Padme's ship, the first Padme
Yes.
ship, the fully
Yes.
silver one.
Well,
Like I love the way it looks, like
what was
completely
it called
silver.
again? It had a really cool.
I
name, too.
have no idea.
Can't remember what it's called. You know what? Okay, so we've had a pretty light-hearted conversation thus far. We're obviously, posing Star Wars hypotheticals. What I really want to know from you guys is we've experienced a lot of Star Wars in the last 2 years. Like a lot. We got The Mandalorian, Clone Wars has come back. We've got The Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi. It's been a very busy year for the Star Wars franchise. Where do you guys currently sit with Star Wars? Like, are you optimistic for the future, or are you concerned about the future of this franchise?
So this is something I've been sort of, and I might have said this on the podcast before, is that I love Star Wars, but I do have this fear of like oversaturation. It's like,
Yeah.
like them creating stories, and I really do I like hearing that Taika is creating story. I think
Mhm.
that's really cool and stuff. But my thing is like I feel like they're gonna create this sort of whole, Star Wars universe, and they're just gonna keep throwing things until it like. And if something works, it sticks, it's great. So they're just going to keep like pumping out more and more content just for the sake of selling and not for the sake of story. And then you kind of have these convoluted story. Like, that's kind of
Right.
like my fear is that they're just sort of
Right.
pumping things out. And, with the trilogy, whether like you completely hate them or watch them or anything else. Like, you can say that, like, we could see there was like disjointed storytelling. It was more like, we got to get these movies out and this is what we're doing. And I would hate for that to continue. So like, I really do like Star Wars, and my love for it will probably always continue. But my fear is just like the oversaturation kind of like killing my love of it. Cause then it's like, what, this is a thing? Like, this is a thing? Like, what?
Yeah,
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
Does
for
that
sure,
make
for
sense?
sure.
Definitely makes sense. But is
Yeah.
that a personal fear for you, Saba? Or is that an existential fear for the franchise, as it may have a more detrimental effect on the fans than Lucasfilm is aware of? Or is it more personal for you?
I think it's more personal because I think Star Wars will
Okay.
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
regardless.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I do think
It's an
that they'll
undying
create stories
property.
that sell. And there was that whole, what was the new project that they
Old
had?
Republic?
Sorry, that was released
High
a few months ago. We
Republic.
did an episode
High
on it
Republic.
too,
Republic,
I
yeah.
think. High Republic. Like, that also seems very interesting. It's a time of a Jedi we
Right.
don't know a lot about. I'm always interested to learn more. I'm just hoping it's not like, like, I hope it's actually good storytelling and not just like, let's get things out and make some
Right.
money and then like just push some other things out. And there's a lot of stuff that overlaps that's like, wait, like, does this make sense? Like, what's canon,
Sure.
what's not canon? This isn't canon anymore. Like,
Sure.
those kind of conversations.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely potential for good things to come out. I really enjoyed Rogue One. I liked how it was just one movie.
Me
It
too.
wasn't a trilogy. It was just a standalone story. It was new characters. I would like to see something like that. Let's just like explore something else. Let's not worry about the Skywalkers. But it's also kind of cool that it clearly like ties into everything else, and they made those references. That was really fun.
Mhm.
So I don't know, for me, that was a really enjoyable movie experience in the Star Wars franchise.
Okay, before we move on to Chris's point, I want to ask, where were you guys at after seeing the rise of Skywalker? Like, were you more concerned than optimistic, or like, did the rise of
Honestly,
Skywalker
I
have
was-
a negative impact on you as far as the way you see
Yes.
the entire franchise right now?
It felt like it's done. Like, I'm just happy it's done. Like, do something else.
Yeah,
You're not good at taking somebody else's work. You're good at making new things. Just
Yeah.
make new things,
yeah,
right? Like, I guess that would tie into my view on the franchise, is that like
okay,
they shouldn't even try to, because it's always been a tug of war in the last trilogy of creating something new and sticking to what people love, and they just like they got the worst of both worlds,
hmm
and it's like, I'm glad it was done. Like, the dumpster fire has been put out. Make a new fire. Now I'm kind of optimistic, because now they don't have to live up to carrying on the torch. They can just light a new fire, and that's what I'm fine. Like, I agree with Christina, and the one thing that I am very optimistic about with Disney having Star Wars is low stakes Star Wars properties. So that's why, like, I was never overly harsh on Mandalorian, because it was a very low stakes like property. Like, it was like, if you screwed it up, I like, whatever, I don't care. Like, it's cool. Like, I want to see him do cool things. Same with Rogue One, even though they nailed the shit out of that movie. That was an amazing movie.
hmm
Like, it was one of those things where it's like they don't have to carry the legacy as heavy, because it's this thing where it's like they can explore new ground. They can explore things that we would never consider, but it doesn't like step on the legacy or like trample the legacy, whatever it is, right?
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm like really excited about the things the departures that they can go, so that they don't have to ruin my childhood. No, just kidding. That was a little dramatic, but
Well, I'll echo your sentiments, Chris, about it being over. Because honestly, the more and more I got exposed to things like the Clone Wars, the comic books, the books, and I got to see the potential for source material to be developed from those things, I was like, why are we still hanging on to goddamn Luke Skywalker? Like, the way that I see it, and I love Luke, and I think he's a great character, and I love all those characters, to be honest. But the way I see it is like this, okay? Luke gets trained for maybe a maximum period of a year and a half, 2 years. Okay. Nobody knows for sure. I'm sure other fans do. I just never been able to go and take the time to do the hardcore math to figure it out. But he gets trained for a very minimal amount of time. Right. So did he get to learn everything that he could potentially know about the Force and about the Jedi and about lightsaber combat to pass it on to, the people that he was going to pass it on to? Because in various source material, Luke becomes a master. and he opens his own academy and he teaches people, just like we saw him do with with Ben Solo, who then became Kylo Ren. So how much did he really get to pass on? That's the question, right? And I just see that the Jedi, they were so much larger and so much more grander than Luke Skywalker could ever justify. That's the way I saw it. And I've always wanted bigger, larger stories around Star Wars, definitely around the Force. Like, when I think of Star Wars, I kind of split it into two different types of stories: the wars, the combat, like the soldiers, the stormtroopers, that kind of shit, and then the mystical, force-driven kind of Jedi mythology kind of stuff.
Exploring
right?
the lore, yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that I gravitate towards. I don't really give to I enjoy it, but I'd rather watch story about the Jedi. I'd rather have some sort of deep intellectual kind of connection with, something more spiritual and something more fantastical than just say a bunch of guys fighting each other with laser guns. Not that it's not fun to watch, and especially the space battles. The space battles are incredible, but like I'm more into the mystical side of what the Force is. And I've seen a very little amount of that. And that's why I was so excited about The Last Jedi. Yes, I'm a Last Jedi fan. That's why I was so excited about The Last Jedi, because in that temple, there's that carving on the floor of this figure, and the figure is both colored in both light and both dark. And it really made me speculate as to who that figure was. And everybody started calling, and I think in the visual encyclopedia for Star Wars for The Last Jedi, they called it the Prime Jedi. Now that's a storyline that never went anywhere, right? Because obviously J.J. Abrams decided to kind of, I don't want to say retcon, but, kind of draw around that story and kind of do his own thing, and it didn't really explore some of the things in The Last Jedi that I thought were very strong, that had a lot of potential. So moving forward, my concern is this. I don't think Kathleen Kennedy is the right person for the job that she has. I really don't. I think that a lot of socio-political agenda has bled into the creation of Star Wars, where things like diversity and things like representation have surpassed the importance of storytelling. And even if you look at that High Republic, if you look at that meeting between all the writers during the High Republic video, if you look on their whiteboard, diversity and representation are very high in the hierarchy of principles, way above storytelling. And that's my concern.
I mean, it should be high. It just shouldn't overtake anything.
Right.
Yeah, and if you're comparing it to the trilogies that came out, the issue wasn't diversity. The issue was the storytelling. They didn't tell a fully constructed story over 3 movies. They had representation and diversity, and like they had like Finn, who is obviously someone who is someone who's black, and they had Rose who was obviously someone of Asian descent. But those weren't the issues with the movie. The movie was they didn't tell proper story. So for me, the diversity is not like you can cast anyone for whatever role. If the story is there, the story will sell itself.
Yeah, but
I agree with that too. Yeah. But what I think happened is that the prioritizing.
Yeah, that's the concern. That's the hidden concern. But like we can never prove it really. Where it's that's kind of like the hidden concern is that like did that take up more bandwidth than it should have, therefore leaving us with less undesirable thing. But like that's something like I agree that could be a concern, but also like there's no proof of it, right? Like it should be on the list. I agree, like that stuff should be on the list. But if that's your focus, then this is more of like a business project than it is an art project, and like that's kind of like the one of the things that kind of lead to the downfall.
Exactly.
I mean, the main issue with the Rise of Skywalker and like this thing is, for me, was the storyline they gave Kylo and Rey. They didn't really do it full justice and didn't really feel like full circle. And you could use the word retcon because they did retcon. They gave her no family, and then she has a family. And then with Kylo, like his change from being Kylo to Ben, which, some people saw as quick. Like for me, it's like they messed up because they, I think, were banking on a franchise name and just expecting everyone to sort of come in and like watch it. And they were just like, it's Star Wars. People are going to like, they're going to make money regardless. And I don't think they gave enough credence to like, or credit to the fans. That being said, I'm not like a fan who like would go crazy and like boycott or whatever. Like I like Star Wars and I can have like constructive criticisms on like what I've seen.
Yeah.
And overall, I enjoyed, like, it's definitely like, I know it had faults but I enjoyed the trilogy just to watch it in terms of watching it. Like I wasn't sitting there being like, oh my gosh, this is so hard to get through.
Right.
So there's also that. But my main thing comes down
for
is
me,
like,
same thing. I definitely enjoyed all the movies. I enjoyed all the Star Wars movies, but they're not all as rewatchable for me as some other ones are. Like the originals, I always go back and rewatch the originals just because I don't know, they're such good movies. So and definitely I have issues with like the flow of the plot and certain plot points and how the story didn't flow through from one movie to other, but each movie in and of itself, I enjoyed it when I was watching it in the theater.
Okay. No, and you know what? I echo a lot of what you guys are saying too. Like I definitely identify with a lot of those sentiments. So I like what Chris is saying about whether there was too much bandwidth dedicated to doing things that would secure some sort
agenda.
of public, like some sort of embrace from the public, some sort of agenda before storytelling. And honestly, I feel like Kathleen Kennedy is somebody who is more concerned about those things than actual storytelling. And I think that they can fix this issue very easily and very quickly and hand the reins over to Dave Filoni. I think Dave Filoni is the perfect choice to run this entire franchise from start to fucking finish because, well, okay.
I mean,
so
did you not have problems?
If you don't know much
with Mando though?
Yeah, I had problems with Mando, but I also think in hindsight, the last couple of Mando episodes were worth going through the first 5 of those. Like they were formulaic, 100%. Okay. And I think that's another problem that Star Wars really needs to start dealing with is formulaic storytelling. I think formulaic storytelling is something that they've been too reliant on for so long. I'm tired of like these archetypal,
but to be fair, that you're saying Star Wars has to stop doing formulaic. Like Star Wars invented a lot of those formulas, and them staying within
Joseph
them.
Campbell did, but yeah,
but like them staying within their own formula, that's not necessarily a bad thing because that like they're not. It's not even like I'm saying like, oh, it's a cheap trick because like they're reliving their own legacy. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that like that's why it's so good. It's because they invented a whole like a lot of their own thing. I mean the hero journey has been around before Star Wars was, but they popularized it, and it's like, yes, I don't want them to redo hero journey, but it's like the whole like space opera thing, like that's their specialty, right? Like let's be careful with what we wish for, because if they don't do if they got the entire feel of Star Wars, then why, in what sense is it a Star Wars like thing still, right? And don't get me wrong, like Chris,
go. Yeah, but okay, but I'm talking about the obvious formulaic choices.
Yeah. The tropey stuff, right? But okay, like I love Dave Filoni, but who's more guilty than that than he is in that entire Mando series?
Okay, here's why I'm putting all my eggs in the Filoni basket. Okay,
that's a troubling statement.
Dave Filoni took the job at Clone Wars as a Star Wars fan, right? Like literally, he was in the middle of building a Plo Koon costume in his garage when he got the call to go and audition or to go and interview for Clone Wars, right? So one, his heart's in it, 100% his heart's in it. He loves this stuff. He loves George Lucas. He loves the legacy. He loves the legend. He loves everything behind Star Wars. If you ever hear an interview with anybody who meets Dave Filoni, the first thing they'll tell you about him is he is the encyclopedia of Star Wars. Not only will he tell you the right thing that should be in a shot, but he'll give you the entire fucking history as to why it should be in the shot.
But right there, it doesn't fix your concern about it being formulaic. That just means he's gonna stick to those guns even more, and we're gonna get more of the same thing, and like more of this. Like if we're taking Mandalorian as an example, like it was tropey here, like through and through, and I'm not saying I minded it because it's like a low stakes project, but if you're saying that, like, anyway, so you're saying number one, I'm not like you weren't done with your point. Go ahead, go ahead, and then.
Yeah, it's fine. And the other thing I like about Filoni is the way that they organized the directing team on Mandalorian was very inspired. Like they had 6 different directors and they worked together. It wasn't like Taika comes on set one day and does his thing, and Bryce Dallas Howard comes on set one day and does her thing, and Deborah Chow comes on set one day. They work together, right? Yeah. So they were able to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I will. Oh no! I will say that I think and I do like that how they did that and how they worked together and were able to tell a continuous story. I do think that I don't know them personally, but J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson seem to have like a weird back and forth,
like a rivalry
you know what I mean?
or something.
Yeah, I like
Rian
from
Johnson
the
and J.J. Abrams have the most passive aggressive public fucking relationship. They like basically speak in code to each other through the media.
Yeah, that was annoying. That was annoying. It felt
they
like
were flipping each other off
in their videos.
in
their movies.
Like they should have like gone those that's what I like what Dave Filoni did and the creators of Mandalorian is that it's clear that they got these directors maybe not together in person but at least together enough to be like this is what we're doing and like sort of we're creating this continuous story and then like hopefully maybe that could have been avoided if that happened but then I don't know like these are like J.J. Abrams is also like a big time director and we've had other issues with like even I think Han Solo that being directed it was
directed by Lord and Miller and then
two
they
guys
got fired and then they brought in Ron
also
Howard.
The beginning of Mandalorian was very episodic
so there's been issues.
They didn't have to carry through a lot of plot points
right
and that also could have been that they chose not to.
Well if we look at the data like and data like I'm saying Filoni and Kennedy, okay, so all the projects that Kathleen Kennedy wasn't involved in, and maybe this is just neckbeards across the country responding because they know Kennedy wasn't involved in it, I don't know, or across the country, across the world, but the stuff that Kathleen Kennedy wasn't involved in was actually more well embraced by Star Wars fans across the board, right? She wasn't allowed to be involved in Mandalorian, apparently. That's the rumor.
In what?
Like, don't quote me on that, but I heard that she was basically either banned from set or something along those lines. She took some press photography at one point, but that was literally it. But she didn't have any creative say in the process. She is the executive producer, I think, but it was mostly Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's show. Clone Wars, she doesn't really have any involvement there. Apparently, the fans they don't like where she took us, right? And I think that the biggest misstep, and tell me if you guys agree with this, is that they didn't get all three directors of the sequel trilogy, well, two directors. There's supposed to be fucking three. They didn't get the two directors that were directing the sequel trilogy into the same room on day one and said, let's come up with the story.
That's what
arcs.
it felt like,
Let's
but we don't know
down.
that. We don't know what happened or didn't happen.
They didn't. It's public knowledge now. They didn't.
But we've talked about this. We've talked about this a lot that like, there wasn't a through line, that and I think you can, obviously Kathleen Kennedy was running at the time. So like this blame is on her as much as, and I would also put it equally on J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson too, because, they also have to choose to cooperate with each other. And I know that she's sort of the leading force there, but, it's also on them. Like I kind of saw like a different side to JJ, I would say, than I was kind of used to seeing. Cause like it seemed like a big ego director move in a sense, especially just the third movie seemed like that because the third movie where they're like, oh, actually you do have parents, or like after Rian Johnson, like destroyed Kylo Ren's mask and they're like putting it back together. It's like, it just felt like this weird.
Like they were passive aggressive.
You know what I mean?
It was like, it was like two girls in high school that were competing for the position of queen bee, and they would just start taking passive aggressive pot shots at each other, like compliments insults that were disguised as compliments.
For sure.
Like that's basically what it was. It was like a fucking. It was like watching Mean Girls.
You should
like,
make that movie,
again.
Frank. I would watch
ridiculous.
that.
What? Which one?
The movie where they're
one?
acting like the Mean Girls. That would be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
you
J.J.
should put
Abrams
that in
and
your
Rian
movie
Johnson.
idea.
Yeah, maybe I will.
You should have
Maybe
them
I
like
will.
you should have them like
One
an
that has a burn
anchor,
book.
the Anchorman fight scene. You should do a you should do a J.J. Abrams Rian Johnson Anchorman fight scene at the end of the movie. And somebody throws a trident at someone.
Okay, that is my favorite fight scene like ever.
The Anchorman fight scene.
Yo,
is
me
yes,
too,
it's
man.
so epic
Me
and
too.
ridiculous. Best thing ever.
It's pretty good.
Brick, where'd you get a
Pretty good.
grenade? I don't know. I fucking love that movie.
The horses dragging
threw
the
a spe-
people right.
I threw a spear at the
No,
guy.
I stabbed the guy in the heart.
Yeah.
So fuck.
Brick killed the guy. Yeah,
Killed
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. If I was to ask you guys to point out the watershed moment that set the sequel trilogy on its trajectory, what would you pick?
Water set moment? I'm not familiar.
Watershed.
What is that?
Watershed
What is that?
moment.
I'm not familiar.
That
with
really
it.
kind of set the trajectory where it just couldn't come back. Like it was off the fucking rails.
Honestly, I didn't get that
Really?
till Rise
Okay.
of Skywalker.
Okay.
I mean, okay, no, I will give you
yeah.
something. Last Jedi, when basically there's like a whole mutiny on a ship while you're trying to run away, and
Yeah,
there's
because
like this thing.
because she didn't want to tell them things.
Like,
Yeah.
there was
For
just
me,
a lot,
it's the introduction of First
Yeah.
Order.
but I didn't
Like reintroducing the Empire was, I think, the biggest mistake, like in that trilogy, because you're stuck doing that exact same
Yep.
story again, right? Like,
Yep.
and I defend Force Awakens a lot, except for that one. I mean, not just except for that, but like that's the biggest mistake in the sequel trilogy is that like reintroducing the same battle lines, the same good guy, same
Yep.
bad guy. Like fucking do something else.
So, okay, Rian Johnson's taken a lot of criticism for what he did for The Last Jedi, right? A lot of criticism. And one of the things he takes the most criticism for was the development of Luke, right? Now, I've never got this specific with you guys. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about Rian Johnson's version of Luke. I have no idea. But it made sense to me, okay? It made complete sense to me. Now, here's the thing. Is Rian Johnson really the one to blame for Luke's trajectory, or is it J.J. Abrams?
J.J. Abrams showed Luke for a total of 10 seconds. If he's to blame, I don't know how.
But where did he put him,
He
Chris?
put him on an island. He put him on a blank
Yeah.
slate for Rian Johnson to write anything he wanted.
But he's been on the island for 30
Okay.
years.
So like you can like what's his state of mind? No one knows. And like that was the whole thing. He gave him an open-ended mystery for Rian Johnson to play with. He gave him a toy to play with. Rian Johnson took a lighter to that toy and burnt it, like that kid from Toy Story.
Okay. Okay, that's your take. My take is this, okay? If you put a character on an island for 30 years, you're basically going to turn him into Tom Cruise on Castaway, like from Castaway. Granted, he's a little mentally more together because he's a Jedi.
Yeah, Tom Cruise
Hanks.
was
Yeah, sorry,
Tom Hanks. You mean
Tom
was a lot more
Hanks.
friendlier. Although I would have loved to see Wilson, a
Look,
Wilson version.
Listen,
on
don't
the island,
try not
whatever
to like.
Wilson would be.
I would try to warn you from defending the hill that Rian Johnson had no other way to write Luke,
Ooh.
because I can
warning
give
you.
you 3 different, like I can give you 100 different ways to write Luke, like now, right now,
I
on the
feel
spot,
like
if you want
Luke
me
really
to.
wanted to get off the island, he could have. It kind of felt to me like he just hung around and retired there. It felt
Okay,
like he didn't
alright.
hate the island.
How was he going to get off the
I
island?
don't know. I don't know,
X-Wing?
man. He's a
Answer
Jedi.
that. X-Wing?
He's got connections. He's resourceful.
He's got his
I feel
X-wing
like
that
if
works.
he-
Connections.
I mean, he
yeah.
had the
Like
X-wing.
if he
No, no,
really
he-
wanted
no,
to
no.
go, he could have.
Guys, he's not stranded on the island. He chose to go to the island, but like
He marooned
yes,
himself.
he marooned himself on
Yes.
the island because of what happened to Kylo Ren. That's the
Yes.
makings of a good story. Because if he's a
Yes.
failed master that
Yes.
took it too hard. But like you don't write him as this flippant old man that's grumpy at everything. You make him dark and brooding, or you make him like
He
you
was
make him
dark and
no, he wasn't.
brooding.
He was a freaking adolescent child that like a grumpy.
He felt like a neighbor,
yeah,
like a neighbor
grumpy
who like is
dude.
annoyed that you're on his lawn.
Yeah,
You know when you get in
it's
trouble
that-
for playing.
It's
on
that
your
dude
neighbor's
with the
lawn, and
shotgun
they're
on
like,
his
"Get off
porch
my
going,
lawn."
get the fuck off
Should,
my lawn.
should he have been more like Wilson from Tim Allen's show? Is that what he was?
You guys are funny. You guys are funny. Okay, let's go back to Saba's point. Okay, Saba, I really think you said that because you have a crush, that you had a crush on Luke before. Okay, I don't. Go ahead.
The fun-
Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, what were you gonna say? I was gonna say the funny thing is I was rewatching Empire Strikes Back a few weeks ago, and I forgot that I thought he was cute when I was a kid, and then I saw him like come up on screen, and I was like, oh, he's so dreamy.
Okay, but I think that we spent too much time with this character to watch him for however that was, 2 hours and 41 minutes of seeing him like that. That's the problem, right? And I think that there's a lot of, psychologically we couldn't make the connection. A lot of us couldn't. I could, because the way that I saw it as a writer, the way that I saw it is he was dealing with 30 years of guilt. He's traumatized. He is depressed. He's traumatized, and there's an Easter egg in there that shows that he was potentially going to kill himself, because when you meet him, he's wearing that white Jedi robe, and apparently that's something to do with like killing yourself.
I don't know. I feel like that's
or ending
a
your
stretch.
life.
I don't know about that, but
well, he's wearing those colors, and plus, okay, the final scene in Force Awakens.
This is a Disney movie.
How
They're
the
not
fuck-
putting an Easter egg about suicide in there.
How? Hey man, you never know. How the fuck is Ray standing? Or sorry, how is Luke standing right at the top of the staircase when Ray gets up to the top? Like you just felt her coming.
Like
He just
was
felt her
expecting
coming?
her.
Yeah.
He was
I don't know.
expecting her.
I feel like
Yeah, but he also says he shut him. He also says I shut myself off to the Force, right?
Well,
Yeah,
like he
that's
shut up.
true.
Well, he said that in.
I don't
He said
know.
that
I-
in
like,
in the Last
Luke-
Jedi though. So like
Yeah.
like you can't like he said that in the movie after. So like the justification for him standing there still existed during that movie, right?
Yeah, for me, it was
Yeah.
like when he
Yeah.
threw the lightsaber away.
Oh,
that bothered you?
That
was
bothered the
like-
shit out of me. That explained his entire
don't know if
character
that-
up to that point. He's not a guy that failed the Jedi Order. He's a guy that like just is throwing a tantrum essentially. Like he
That's not
like he
fair.
threw the lightsaber. Like it's not. He doesn't care
That's
anymore
not
about the
fair.
Jedi. Like he can dislike it. He can hate it. He can feel something about it. Not like this means nothing to me. I'm throwing it over my shoulder. That's okay. I don't know. It's
Couldn't the
stupid.
argument?
what?
Couldn't the argument be made that Luke discovered how much the Jedi really fucking failed? Like,
Well,
can't that
Frank,
be the
you
argument?
described
Well-
yourself as a disenfranchised Catholic. So,
I did.
are those feelings
I
like
did.
similar to maybe what Luke would have been feeling at this point in time?
That's a stretch.
Therapist.
Are you
That's a
paying
stretch.
Christina for the hour that she like? Can you
Wait a
sit on a
second.
couch for?
What- hold on, what's going on here? Are you trying to
This is
like?
an
are you trying to
intervention.
make some
No,
sort of parallel
I was just
between-
saying it might be a good
Oh, okay.
comparison because you might understand how Luke is feeling in those moments. Maybe
I know
that
how
maybe
Luke
that
feels.
is like what they were trying to do. Maybe they were trying to give him those kind of feelings, right? Like just feeling disenfranchised. But
I know
yeah.
how Luke feels because I watched the prequel trilogy with wide open eyes, going, "Oh my god, look what Palpatine's doing! This is crazy!" And then I watched Clone Wars. I was like, "Oh my god, look at what Palpatine's doing! This is fucking crazy!" I'm like, why is the Jedi not like tuning into this? You know, like they're force sensitive.
Yeah, but he
Can they
doesn't.
not sense this motherfucker pulling the strings everywhere? Like, can they not sense that?
But I guess he's in that place where he just thinks
Oh,
like it was wrong.
Who
Luke,
does?
right? Doesn't he think?
Wait, what are we
that?
talking about now? Are we talking about
Oh.
Palpatine
no.
now?
Okay. Luke had access to the Jedi
Yeah.
text, right? When he's on the island. And how he finds out about how bad the Jedi failed is by reviewing the Jedi text, right? The stuff that he didn't have access to before he started training Kylo
Right.
Ren or Ben Solo, right? He goes to the island, he finds the temple, he starts doing all his research, and he's like, holy shit. He's like, this is not good. This is like one of those, it's like a president that you think was
Yeah.
amazing, but was secretly really shitty.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
what I
but
mean. So
that-
that's
that's
why
not-
I think his feelings are justified. I would throw the
Yeah.
lightsaber. It's a symbol of all of that, right?
No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
Okay, here's the thing though.
Exactly.
But Luke has never been that everybody kind of sees Luke as the person that like reset the Jedi Order, right? Like he was never really like trying to live up to the old one. It was him starting a new academy, and there was even like I think it was a theory that we may have had where it's like he was branching off from what the Jedi Order was, and he's making his own thing. And then if he like if his whole brooding staying on this island was because of the Jedi Order failing, that's kind of stupid because the entire reason why he's there in the first place is because he failed as a master. It should be more personal, like instead of this thing where it's like, oh, the Jedi Order failed. If that were the case, that just means he's blaming the Jedi Order for his failure. And that's kind of a bad way to write a character, which is like, if you really wanted to write that, I guess you could, But like,
That's
what would that mean
only-
for Luke?
yeah.
He's like blaming somebody else for his failures.
Yeah, but that's only one angle, Chris. Like, you got to look at the other way too, is that his whole life is based around the philosophy and the teachings of the Jedi, right? And when he finds out that they failed, he's probably like, what the fuck, guy? Like, now I'm probably, now I know why I fucked up
Okay,
Because I was
that's
pushing
just
these
blaming.
ideals
That's
on my
that's
students.
exactly what I'm saying. Like he's like
Right.
he's like he was starting
But that's
new.
a good justification to be pissed off.
Okay, but like if I'm starting a school, if I get taught by my master who's dead and I start a new school and my school fails, I'm not going to blame my master. I'm supposed to do better. I was the chosen one. I was supposed to reset the force. That's his whole thing. Was like he was supposed to bring balance to the force. He was supposed to do new things and he knew that going
Sure,
in.
But you're forgetting. But like, I think you're forgetting the chronology of the events, right? Like, he learns everything after he fails Ben Solo, after Ben Solo turns on him, right, and loses him to Snoke.
Yeah, I know he
So it
I know he learns
happens-
after. I'm just saying that's weak storytelling because it's like because he had this
I don't think
because
it is.
he learns this he learns that he fails at something and then reads a book that says it's not actually your fault. It was your teachings that were wrong. That's like that's kind of bad if you think about it. It's like
No, I don't. Okay, I don't think it's just the teachings. I just don't think he's like, oh my god, like, they fucked up and they failed. I think that they're looking at it in a very, he's unpacking it in a very nuanced way. Like, he's not just saying, their teachings were completely wrong, so I'm wrong and I failed because they failed. I don't think he's looking at it that way. I think he's looking at it as they were supposed to be the law and the order and the galaxy and they didn't even have it right. That's what I'm saying, right?
but
And
he
I
knew
think
all of
once you
that. But he knew
realize-
all of that though. Like it's not something that like the text only just gave him a revelation of. Like he knew that the Jedi failed. He knew that they were extinct. And like
He knew they failed to an extent, but I don't think he knew everything. Like, I don't think he knew about the
here's-
entire rise of Darth Sidious.
here's the thing about about that as well. It's like, what is it that the Jedi did so wrong that everybody's always alluding to, but they never like. Besides them failing to Sidious, which is not a failing in their like, it's not like they're too arrogant that they didn't see it. Darth Sidious put together a very genius plan and clouded their mind using the Force. Because if you remember in the Revenge of the Sith. Like he clouded their minds. They couldn't see the future. They didn't see him coming. And it was their respect for the Republic that made them lose in the first place. It was their respect for the law because Palpatine put himself in an untouchable place as High Chancellor or Supreme Chancellor. Sorry. Oh my God, I'm gonna get killed for that one, aren't I? Anyway, Supreme Chancellor. Like he put himself in the position of Supreme Chancellor, and it was because of the Jedi's respect for the law that he got away with it. So what exactly is the feeling here? It's like they failed to stop the bad guy?
I think it's
or is it,
just that they have
there's
so
no
much
philosophical
bloodshed on their
feeling.
hands because of this like blood feud. It's like an eye for an eye, and they like
it was
played
a
into
war that they
right?
got pulled into.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the Separatists were a thing before Jedis did anything. They were trying to stop. The war happened like regardless of the Jedi. Yes, the Jedi were involved because Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan were at the events of the first one. The Jedi did not cause the war. Let's not forget this. Like, yes, they became warriors and they probably shouldn't have, but like the Republic's.
Well, actually, in a way, like you're right, but a Jedi did order the clone troopers too.
No, I'm sorry, that was Count Dooku.
No, Sifo
No,
Dyas
no.
ordered the clone troopers.
Okay, like watch things. Sifo Dyas. It was Count Dooku framing Sifo Dyas. They killed Sifo Dyas because they framed him for going to not Geonosis. What's that planet?
Kaminoa.
No, Camino. Yeah.
Camino, sorry,
so
Camino,
they
Right.
Count Dooku went to Camino to like requisition the clones without the
Okay.
knowledge, and then they framed Sifo Dyas and killed them for it. That was not the
Right.
Jedis. They didn't even know it. They didn't even know about the clones, right?
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
All right,
yeah,
then.
you make a fair point. Okay, so one could argue that the Jedi's strict doctrine is what led Anakin Skywalker
Very true.
to being who he
Yeah,
was.
But but
Right?
only so far as
Okay.
For
like
sure.
it was manipulated by Palpatine, right? But yeah, I agree.
Right.
Like that was very
Yeah.
stupid. Like, don't get married.
Like,
Why?
Yeah,
Reproduce,
well,
guys.
not only that, but like if he could go to his mother when he like if he felt okay to go to Obi-Wan and say, hey, I can feel my mother in pain. I need to go back to Tatooine or Tatooine and I need to go find her. Obi-Wan would have gone along with him because it wouldn't be against their doctrine, right? But when you have to keep those kind of secrets, man,
for sure.
you get fucking dark real quick. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Saba, you've been super quiet about this. I'd like to hear your take.
On this? Well, I was just this is what I was literally thinking. I was like, I knew this was going to turn into Last Jedi back and forth with Frank and Chris.
It's not.
And I was
It's
trying
not
to
a
cut
Last
it.
Jedi.
I was trying to cut it.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to argue where the story direction went with Luke specifically and how he viewed. Okay, so I think the most important revelation in the entire sequel trilogy is that Luke Skywalker identifies or feels his sentiment is that the Jedi failed. Right? I think that's important because it eventually, I think, gets us to what we get at the end of The Rise of Skywalker with Rey with her yellow lightsaber.
See, I don't mind that.
Right?
I like the idea that I wish we could have saw more of that being played out, of like them sort of changing these rules, right? Like that, to me, as a story of like the rebuilding of what the Jedi could look like in the future. Or, you know, a lot of people thought Rise of Skywalker was going to be sort of this new type of Jedi. That was like a very popular theory when it came out.
I think a lot of the fans wanted that. Yeah, that's definitely what direction I would have liked to see that go in.
And then that would have opened up a lot of other stories of like how this sort of looks inside the real world. Because like, it's obvious there was issues with the Jedi doctrine of any sort of rules, especially in terms of a place where at least Anakin felt like he had no one to talk to, and isolation is not good for a troubled mind. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
That's kind of where that comes out. In terms of Luke and his character inside that actual movie, the only issue I had, and I guess it was interesting, like I didn't really have a big issue. He still had that like boyish attitude that he had in terms of, you know, inside the original trilogy. But he seemed like that whole conversation he had with Yoda, like he still felt like a kid to me. I don't know if you guys like felt that like in that conversation. Which I don't know if I like or don't like really. I mean, if that's like who he is, that's who he is. He also did that whole thing where he swiped the dust off his shoulder, the imaginary dust. I don't know how you guys felt.
Yeah, that was a very internet thing. Like, look at me in my YouTube video after I win a fight or something like that. Yeah.
Like I always defend The Last Jedi. Like, this is what I always say about The Last Jedi. A lot of the things that they tried to do, like a lot of the concept they tried to do in that movie, I love. Like Luke being this broken old master that knows he failed on paper is so good, but it's like it wasn't executed right. Like it just took a left turn when it was supposed to go straight, and that's like kind of true for everything in that movie. But on paper, like that movie was like could have been a really really great thing for me. Like obviously I'm not gonna like speak like I'm not gonna generalize, but I'm just saying like for me, like every decision they made pre-filming the movie was right and was like turned Star Wars into a good direction. But I just don't think they executed anything right. Like him being on that island as a broken old master that knows he failed was good. But the fact that he was there and he's just like doesn't care anymore. Like I want him to care too much in a way where it's like he's angry about it, or he's like
that would have been better.
He retreated within himself. But like him like throwing the lightsaber, it was just like the only thing I kept thinking was like, are you just giving a middle finger to everything your old character was? That's like the big thing.
That was
why do you want that?
That was an exclamation that was an exclamation point moment, right? That was like, listen, this is an instantaneous moment for me to tell you exactly how, or tell the audience exactly how I feel about the Jedi right now, right?
And I think it was wrong.
Exactly what it was meant to be.
And I think they could have handled it better. Like I know that's what they meant to be, because like the biggest problem with that movie was they chose to do like subverting expectations over real storytelling, which is what that moment was. And I think it was going overboard. Like they didn't need to do it. They could have just made his character even just a little bit predictable if they were going to go with the brooding thing, instead of just going, because that whole throwing the thing over the shoulder, that was like not entirely, but it was mostly meant for subverting expectation. It was like, oh, like if there was a soundtrack, it would scratch off and go, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that's what that moment was supposed to be, and that was a big problem of that of that entire movie was that there's just so much
actually, I felt
subverting
like they did that a
expectations.
lot in the
Yeah,
whole new
and for no
trilogy.
reason.
Like, it was a problem. Too many plot twists.
Anyways,
I
that's
also
all I have to say about
I'll have
Star
to say,
Wars.
like, I did enjoy The Last Jedi, and I echo a lot of Chris's points in terms of a lot of the storylines, like, to me, made sense into terms of what they were trying to do with it. Each character, like, I've said this a lot of times, so, like, Poe was learning to be a leader, Rey was kind of going off her path on a Jedi, and, like, Finn was learning how to be that guy who's making the sacrifice play and really giving his all and, like, not running away. So, like, those arcs, I think, are, like, arcs that those characters needed in terms of, like, you know, growing and stuff. So, you know, I wasn't really against that. Sometimes, like, the execution wasn't, like, the greatest
Yeah.
for me. For
Pretty much
all of
everything
them.
you listed there. None of
Honestly,
the
like, the
executions were
porgs
right.
for me was the thing. I was like, what the? I don't know, Frank. Frank, what do you honestly think of porgs? This is something I've never asked you.
I didn't like the porgs.
I didn't like the porgs.
The porgs were a marketing play.
Yeah.
That's all they were. They were to sell.
They were
to
what
sell
Baby
toys.
Yoda wanted to be. Or what they were.
Yes.
No, the other way
were
around.
What Baby Yoda.
Baby
Is-
Yoda wanted to be.
No,
Yes.
the other way
Yes.
around.
Disney
Baby Yoda was what porgs wanted to be. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Disney aren't idiots. Like, they understand marketing, right? And they understand, like, if they create a character, they can make toys of it and sell it. Like, that's an entire part of their business model, right? I don't think a lot of the sequel characters were created for storytelling reasons. I think a lot of them were created for business reasons, right? And
Which is one
again,
of the big things I hate.
that's the problem. Is there are
Agreed.
things bleeding into interfering with the
storytelling.
principle of storytelling.
Yes, agreed.
Yes.
100% agree. Okay, one question though.
And-
Do you think porgs tasted good?
Oh my
'Cause it-
gosh. That
Freaking look good, didn't it?
Hey, listen, I think they all. I think everything that looks like a bird tastes like chicken. That's
like
my
they
take.
just gave him
Chewbacca.
too much personality, and then you
Yeah.
see him eating one. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, that's worse. Is he didn't eat it. He killed it and then threw it away. Like, just eat the thing, man. You killed it, bro. Like,
Oh, did
You're
he
a
not? Yeah,
predator.
you're right. He did. Yeah. And then there was one on the ship.
I want to try a porg. I'm gonna say something unpopular, but I
What?
want to try a porg.
Oh my gosh.
Well, guys, listen, we're running pretty late into this episode, but before we wrap, I want to make sure that we give our listeners a good takeaway on Star Wars Day. I want to know from everybody in a couple sentences, what do you want to see in the future of Star Wars? Chris, go.
Wait, why me? No, Taba first. Because I know she
Okay.
hates
What
being
do
put
I
on the
wanna
spot more
see?
than me.
Just like more great stories. I want to see more characters I really love the story of, like, characters sort of in terms of them finding out about this world and sort of, like, happening upon a greater story. It's a very, like, RPG like story, you know, when you're playing a game. And
It totally is, and it could be so much better. Sorry, go
but
ahead.
yeah, that's, like, just what I want to see, like, more great compelling stories. And I also, like, one thing, I know this sounds corny, but I always really like Star Wars for, like, the friendships and how the characters interact kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Me too.
I really enjoy
Yeah.
those things, and I hope we can sort of see more of that.
Me
And
too.
at the end of the day, like, if it's Star Wars, I'm probably gonna watch it. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
can go.
Christina?
Oh yeah, Christina, go.
Kind of the same thing. I just want to see what else was going on while these main events happened, and there had to be like other things happening at the same time. Other characters making sacrifices and being heroes, and yeah, I just want to see some of those other stories.
Yeah, I think I got my
Chris?
like for me, like I want to see what I fell in love with in the beginning was like discovery. Like I want to discover this world of magic and these
Yes.
characters, and it's like,
Oh my god, you
but-
captured it in one
yeah.
word, dude.
And
and it's
Discovery.
like, and I want them to stick with the rules that they set, because it's way better to create when you have limitations than it is to just create like
100%.
because it's like if you just create like haphazardly, then it's not like you're losing your own vision, right? Like, so I want them to follow the rules that have been set down for like 9 movies and more than 9 movies. Follow your own rules, but explore new things, right? Within this world, and make flavors, like make Star Wars a flavor again, right? That's pretty much what I want. And more Jedis, more lightsaber
My-
fights. Come on.
Yes, of course. My future Star Wars. One, I want Kathleen Kennedy out of the creative process. She
Of
can
the
be a
creative process,
producer.
that I agree with.
Yes. Yeah, she can
Specifically
be
the
a
creative
producer.
process.
That's
yeah.
cool. I'm down with that. That's fine. But I think that the creative group needs to be led by somebody new. There's just been too many fails, too many directors that have left projects. I think, honestly, the fact that she turned down the Duel of the Fates script from Colin Trevorrow Yes, the problem was obviously Leia's character. She, like, Carrie Fisher had, I think, just passed away,
Rest in
and
peace.
then maybe made the story less feasible. I don't know, but they could have pulled it off. And honestly, the ending of the Duel of the Fates, I think, is the ending that we all deserved. And if you haven't read the script, or if you haven't had the opportunity to listen to our episodes where we covered it, we break it all down. And honestly, just thinking of the ending brings tears to my eyes. It's just such a beautiful moment, and we really deserve something like that.
How many times did you read it, Frank?
The script?
Yeah.
I haven't finished the script yet.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
actually in the middle of the script right now. Yeah, I'm really in the middle of the script right
picture you like from time to time reading it front to back.
Yeah. Just
I
scrawled
will be.
on your wall.
I definitely
just
will
like...
be. And I still want to do that episode where we bring people in and we do a read through, man. I think that could be really fun. Anyways.
Yeah, tell us what you
I
guys
want
think
more
about that.
Jedi.
Do you want to hear us try voice acting and try to read this?
Yeah, I think I can do
and
it.
tell
I
us
think
which
I can do a
character.
mean Kylo Ren.
Yeah, tell us which character
think
you
we
want
can
us
do
to
it.
play.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I definitely think we could do it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But like, voice acting doesn't really play into a table read anyways,
Yeah, no, for
right?
sure.
Like, if you watch
I mean,
any
it could.
voice acting,
It
yeah, but it
depends.
could, but it's a table read, right? So yeah, I want more Jedi.
Yeah.
I want more
Yeah.
Jedi. Or I no,
And
actually,
Sith.
I don't want more Jedi. I want a new version of some, a force sensitive faction group, whatever the fuck you want to classify them as, a group of force sensitives that are skilled with lightsabers, that are not the Jedi per se, quotations Jedi.
Man, I want Jedi and Sith, man. Give us more Sith.
Yes.
We've had like, I can
Yes.
count in like one hand how many Siths we've had. Like, explore some Siths with me, please.
Yes, no, for sure, dude. And I think the fact that they didn't jump on the chance to rename the light side of the or the proprietors of the light side, or the middle, or the gray side of the Force, the Skywalkers, was fucking stupid. I think that's one of the biggest fumbles in Star Wars history. I think that would have been amazing. It would have been homage to Luke and his family, and it would have identified these force sensitives as something very clear. Like, you wouldn't even have to think about it. Like, oh, they're Skywalkers? Fuck, that sounds badass.
Yeah.
Get out of the way. The Skywalkers are coming.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking gangster, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds
It pays
cool.
homage and
So-
also like doesn't shackle them, right? They like that could just
Exactly.
mean anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Exactly. And it gives them an opportunity to redefine, force sensitive warriors, wizards, whatever the fuck you want to classify them
Yeah.
as,
Space
whatever
wizards.
layman term you want to use. And I want the I want the archetypes of the good faction versus the bad faction gone. I don't want that shit anymore. I don't want a rebellion. I don't want a fucking
Well,
resistance.
to an extent, I
I'm
think.
cool with that shit. Okay? Like, move away.
Yeah.
Like, there are lots of threatening forces in the galaxy, I'm sure, if you go and try and find them. Like, I'm sure there are tons of them, right? Like, this new group that they're playing with with the High Republic. What were they called again? The pirates?
Yeah, I forgot what they're called, but
Oh,
I remember
shit.
the
The
yeah,
Nile.
the concept
The
art
Nile.
is
Yeah.
The
so
Nile.
cool for
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
guys.
I'm so excited for
Yeah.
that.
So that's cool to me, right? Okay. Cad Bane is cool to me. I don't need a faction of, some sort of military representation of evil. I don't need that shit.
Mhm.
Okay. We've done it to fucking death, right? We have it in our real life. We don't need it in our fiction. Okay. It already exists. Like, we don't need that shit anymore,
cool.
And I like the Sith way of life. I think that, I like that they draw in close comparison to, real historical people that, have played the long game to try and beat their enemies. I think that shit's cool. But yeah, I just want good storytelling. I want them to balance. I want entertainment to become a meritocracy again. I really do. Like, I don't want socio-political agendas giving people opportunities that do not deserve them based on work, okay? Based on work. Like, I want the talented people to rise to the top. And whether they're female, whether they're gay, whether they're trans, whether they're black, whether they're Asian American, whatever, I don't give a shit. I just want talented people to be put in the position to tell these stories. And I loved everybody who worked on The Mandalorian. So I have no problems with anybody who worked on it. I think they're all very talented group of people. So maybe Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are doing it the right way, but I think that there are people within Lucasfilm that are doing it the wrong way. So hopefully they can remedy that. Sorry about my long ass rant, guys, but
It's a good place to put it.
And
in the
that's
very
what you
end of
want
the
to see in the
episode.
future of Star Wars.
All right, guys. I think
I care about Star Wars, man. It means a lot to me.
that'll do it for our May
So-
May the 4th be with you special
Yeah.
episode. Please hit us up. Leave us a review. That would really help us out. Apple Podcast, Stitcher, anywhere you can. And also follow us on Instagram, meanwhile_pod. Let us know if you like these kinds of episodes. Let us know about the table read. We really want to know if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff. That's definitely a departure from what we do. So yeah.
Yep, and subscribe.
subscribe,
And make
please.
sure you
Yes.
subscribe, because if you
Yes,
subscribe,
yes.
you'll be able to see the new episodes as they come available. So make sure you subscribe.
Right.
So let's sign off here with a big happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. We really appreciate you guys spending your time with us. It means a lot to us. Let's stay positive for the future of Star Wars. Okay,
Yes.
so we'll sign off here. I'm Frank McGuire.
I'm Christina Dunamuth.
I'm Saba Mir.
I'm Chris Skywalker. May the 4th be with you.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Peace.
Bye.
Cut that in.